So I've been having a lot of conversations with founders lately where I express what strategic capital partners is and how we run a syndicate. I either get stopped with a question or I get a confused look at times where people don't understand what a syndicate is and what it means to them. So I wanted to provide a little bit of context on what a syndicate is and the pros and cons from an entrepreneur's perspective. So a syndicate is basically a group of investors, and there's typically a manager of that syndicate who you interface with as an entrepreneur, and they have an extended network of investors. They'll have a focus in terms of the asset class they look at, the stage of a company they look at, the type of a company, the industry they look at, and then they'll have a network of investors who are either just writing checks and supporting companies or may actually roll up their sleeves and try to support you. From your perspective as an entrepreneur, think of a syndicate as a single investor with an extended network of investors. The cons from your perspective, though, is when a syndicate is saying they're going to invest in your company, there's no guarantee on the check size that they're going to write. There might be a certain amount that syndicate will put up themselves, but once they open it up for investment to their larger network, there's no guarantee on what comes through. We've done deals anywhere from 150 to 1.5 million. There's quite a bit of a range, and it can be challenging also where there's no guarantee on the timing of when that check is going to come in. It could be days, it could be a couple of weeks. And the last piece from a con or negative perspective is that there's a lack of control of information. So when you're working with a syndicate, they may have hundreds or thousands of investors that are in their network that may see your deck, your information. So you need to give them enough content to be able to convince them that your opportunity is worthwhile to invest in, yet not sharing too much of the secret sauce to give anything away or let that get in the hands of a competitor. If you know those three cons and you're still comfortable with moving forward, there's some beautiful benefits to working with a syndicate. First piece, there's no cost to you as an entrepreneur. Yes, it may take some time and some energy, which is super valuable, but there's no cash outlay, no upfront cost. Second, you're getting access to capital, both from that syndicate lead who's going to need to invest, as well as their network. So you can have capital for your stage right now, but that may be people who are writing tracking checks who are looking to invest in you at later stages and potentially provide you with more capital. The next piece of it is if you take that control or lack thereof in terms of the information that's being disseminated, you can use that to your benefit. When you're working with a syndicate, that network of investors could be customers if you're a consumer product. If you're a B2B business, it could be people that are going to help open doors for you as you go and build your business and connect you internally with their companies. And you get kind of brand or idea champions who are just out there supporting you. Personally, I've invested in companies. I've gone on to use their products. I've gone on to refer friends and family. So there can be a nice little network effect from opening up your opportunity to a syndicate. And the last piece that I'll touch on is both a benefit if you're working with a syndicate, but just something that you should be mindful of in terms of a single investor on your cap table. So if you have friends and family that you're looking to onboard into your company, you may want to look at utilizing a roll-up vehicle where that's one vehicle, one seat on your cap table, yet you can provide access to a larger network of investors. Sometimes you do this with a reduced minimum investment size, but this allows you to provide access to those smaller investors without the burden of that many seats on your cap table. This is kind of one of those things that when you're in your 30s, you say, I wish I knew in my 20s. So as a later stage company, we hear people saying, I wish I knew this earlier. So again, there are some pros and cons of running a syndicate. We're very bullish on SPVs. We're very bullish on working with syndicates. As long as you know what you're getting yourself into and you're interested, or if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Let us know. We're happy to help if we can.